Wait, always forget this. There we go. I ain't ever prepared. Good morning. Good morning, LA. It's been raining all morning. That's what we said yesterday. Is that it was going to because of the clouds and the breeze and all that type of stuff. It's supposed to be 75 today, according to the forecast. But we shall see about that there. Oh, there's even more greenery. I swear it's doing this overnight. When we passed through here, all that was not green. You see up in the tree, it's got a few mossy spots in there too. Life is returning. Grass is getting green again. Squirrels have come back out. It's lovely. No flowers. But I don't think there's any over here though. Oh, what's it doing in Portland? You know, we almost moved to Portland. What kind of weather y'all having today? Good morning, Fox. But it's nice though, right now, because it's like 7 a.m. Georgia's probably got the same weather we do, huh? Yeah, a little overcast. I mean, but then again, right now it's like 8 a.m. or something. At least for right now, it's cool. Light jacket weather. Cold if you're anemic, so you might need a coat. That's light jacket weather because it's going to heat up. As I said, supposedly to 75 degrees. Oh yeah, it's like 5 a.m. where you are. I'm in the future. The sun does come up. So there's your prediction for the day. It does happen. It's over here. It says hi to us first, I think. But it's nice. Still my kind of weather. In the 50s. Yeah, it's 50 something here now. 57, I think it said. 50 something. There's no breeze blowing, so it's not cold. All the birds are out. Oh, there's a nest. But I had a couple hours before I had to go adulting today. So I figured let me go walk around since I'll be stuck to a chair for most of the day. Good morning, greeter. I need to find that street. That's what I'm gonna do. Cause I ain't left the house. Um, well, I should say I haven't left the neighborhood in like a week and a half, maybe more than that. I should go just to go. Don't need anything though. I did get a new restaurant because last time we talked, well, 2 times ago, I was saying I wanted pizza from somewhere in Pittsburgh that wasn't horrible. I still didn't get it. The one I got, it tastes like a restaurant that makes something, but they don't specialize in pizza, but they make it too. Kind of like, oh, they're known for their country fried steak, but they make a pizza too. So it was like an afterthought type dish, and so I had it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. So there you go. I haven't cooked anything in 2 weeks. I hadn't felt like it though. I do want breakfast food though. That is something I want. Because mind you, every time I come out here in the morning, somebody is cooking. Now all I can smell right now is my cologne, but somebody is cooking because I can smell like breakfast or McDonald's food somewhere around in this area. I should go make my own sausage biscuits. That's what I should make. It's like the best thing in the world. The only thing I ever get from them anyway. You can't get a hamburger from McDonald's. It's like against the law, I think. Well, hello, Canada. This is why, uh-oh, birds fighting. This is why you don't walk under birds, though. You hear things hit the ground. 6 a.m. I actually don't know what time it is. I know it's the morning, and it was 7 something. So I think it's 8 a.m. But I'd have to look again. And the trucks. Good morning, Immortal. Yeah, I think it's 8. Some Eastern. Looks very cloudy. Or is it just my phone? Because it's not that cloudy out here. Or foggy looking. Maybe it's the phone. Because my screen is dim. No, it just looks that way. Look like I'm walking through smoke. Smoke and haze. Yeah, well, the ground is, because it rained about 4 this morning. Well, at least that's when I noticed it, because that's when I was up. And so it rained then, and it just stopped like an hour ago. So I'd figure I'd get my 10 steps in before it starts raining again. I did bring my bumper chute though, so we'll keep our hair dry at least. But there are no real big puddles. It's mainly so the life will return. Get you some rain, then some sun. I don't know. It just looks foggy to me. Let's do that. I don't know, it still looks foggy to me. Is it foggy to you? Because it just looks, I don't know. And then the words keep popping up on the screen, so I can't ever tell. I don't know. It just looks like I'm walking through haze. It's a little, well, it might be just the environment, because there is clouds in the sky and rain in the air, so it might just be what it is. And it's not necessarily like midday or nothing, so it ain't burned off yet. So maybe that's just what it's supposed to look like. It just looks low. Misty. But it is nice. Whatever it's doing. I have to walk through here with a garbage bag one day, like no work. Ain't nobody outside today. Now, today, I thought I would go. No, I actually can't do that. It's not seasoned yet. Like, I want to make barbecue one more time, but the stores don't sell, well, the stores close to me and the stores Instacart will go to don't sell ribs. So I can't get that. So never mind. I don't know what kind of bird that is. Walking in the mist. Now what is this? Is this piles of dirt and leaves or piles of leaves? So I bet there's all kind of creatures in there. Like here's where, this is where all the foxes and things are. Now there's a little gravel road, but I ain't ever seen nobody going down that way. And it's a sign on that tree, right there in the distance, right here, that I'm pretty sure that it says, if you enter here, Freddy Krueger gonna eat your face. So I'm pretty sure that's what it say. And then there's a little death hole over there. I'm sure Golem lives down in there. looking for his rings. Good morning, Becca. I had the red one on yesterday. This is the red and black one today. But it's all kind of foxes and interesting creatures. The bright orange fox with the little black on its tail. But all that, I'm pretty sure. If you go down there, ain't nobody gonna ever see you again. I don't care how many live streams you just vanish, boom, just be gone. Just that is not the place to go. Now, mind you, I think that technically just leads out to like the highway or something like that, but it does look scary. That ain't where you go. You want to walk somewhere else. That is not the place to walk. I ain't seen no deers in there either. It was all foxes. Foxes, and that's usually where like the birds of prey circle. So it's probably a bunch of mice and stuff back in there. Something they can find and catch. I ain't seen any bunnies. The chipmunks are all like out in here, actually over here, because there's a lot of burrows and things of that nature under those leaves. There's a lot of little holes. That's where I seen the beaver. The squirrels are up the street. They're already out. I seen them. If something jump out you, I can't help it. You can account the story though. Give a description. I ain't walking into Bigfoot's house. He ain't walking into mine. There you go. I can't. I stay out here amongst the people. It's dangerous here too, but it's a little less dangerous. That's what you gotta wait for. Watch for. These people speeding down the street. As long as he ain't in my house, I won't be in his. I think I'm gonna go down the hill. Change the scenery. Maybe I'll go up the hill. I've been up the hill once. So I'll go up the hill. Oh, you did good, Jim. I'm actually glad I have the motivation to actually go and walk. I like walking though. But it's like when you're inside, you just get into a rut. It's like I don't want to move. I don't want to talk. I don't want to write. Leave me alone. But we're going. Body in motion stays in motion. So we're going to give it a try. Is this a house? I think it is. But tell you what, he is forever doing something to his yard. Nice though. Like really nice, but what worked. Like during Christmas they had nice bright trees everywhere. You know, it's interesting. I mean, if you have that kind of money, then that's great. But because I worked with a lady who, I almost want to say the word designed Christmas trees. She didn't decorate Christmas trees, she designed Christmas trees. And she would buy, you know, a gajillion lights for one tree. She decorated with the jillion lights, and ornaments, and like there's a system to decorating trees instead of just throwing stuff on it, like people like me do. But she'd do all that work, and it takes hours just for them to throw it away, lights and all, chunk the whole thing at the end of the season. So you had this beautifully designed and decorated tree that lasted you a good 27 days, and you threw it out. It's like, why? I mean, if you're just gonna throw it away, then get a cheap one. Or get one of those, what do you call it? The pre-lit trees or something like that. Oh God. Do I still like PA more than Florida? Hell yes I do. That's not even close. I like hell more than Florida. I've been there a couple times. It's all right in the wintertime, as I say. No, they don't take the lights off. Because they pay her, they don't buy any decorations. She pays for everything. And then I guess it's, but she doesn't pay for it. They pay for it essentially, but she goes out and buys the stuff with the allowance or the allotment of money. She decorates the whole thing, and then they throw it out after Christmas is over because they don't need it anymore. And I'm like, okay. It just seems a waste. And it's expensive. I forgot what she charged, but I'm pretty sure it's expensive if she's buying 15 boxes of lights. I can't. Oh, good Lord, this hill is high. I need a mule. What kind of flag is that? She should just leave it up. Yes. This hill is very, very, very high. Like it just goes up. It's one of them things where it's like, look at the bottom. Look how far it is down there. Like, Jesus. Whose idea was this? You know what? It's so interesting. Or I don't know if Interesting is the right word, but it's interesting. Every time I have a conversation with anybody, you go click on YouTube and it's a video that pertains to our conversation. So I'm talking to somebody on StreamYard. We were doing a reading and we were talking about the plastic surgery because they had a opinion about one of them topics we was doing about the people who get the butt implants. And so I'm like, okay. Next thing you know, I turn on YouTube. I get a recommended video, 5-minute workout to better glutes or something like that. I'm like, why? This ain't got nothing to do with tarot channels. How did this pop up? So there's no privacy in the world. Google is listening, in case you didn't know. They listening, they gonna keep on listening. 5-minute workout to better glutes. And now mind you, let me say this too, because there's a now, because that was one video. It recommended like 4. Because you know once you keep scrolling down, they give you somebody else's channel that say the same thing. So there's like 4 videos. And in these videos, because I didn't click it because I didn't want you to offer me more of this same selection. But just from my overall experience of having a physical body, either you got one or you don't. You're not gonna grow glutes from squats. You either got it already or you don't. You can do all the squats in the world. I go Leon, but you're not gonna get no big giant video vixen butt doing no squats. You just not. Oh Lord Jesus, another heel. You can tone and firm with glute exercises, but you're not growing no behind. Well, these houses are nice. We support our police. I bet you do. Just so you know, FBI is police too. I remember this little neighborhood. This is where I don't see them now. There was a couple of Trump signs up and down this street. Looks like they took it down. I guess once he wasn't, you speeding. You speeding and talking on the phone. Recipe for disaster. Well, that's nice. Well, something wanted you to be up when you should be asleep. Funny thing is, like when something wakes me up, like I don't have ghosts in my house. As in, there's not something I can see. But I know there's something in my house or around me anyway, because it goes where I go. Because it'll wake me up. So I always feel, okay, something wanted me to be up for a reason. The bad part comes in when it never tells you what that reason is. And it never becomes apparent either. It's like it's just, I'm up, now what? Everybody's speaking today. You know, people in Oklahoma do that. When it rains, they go faster. When it snows, they go slow, like they're supposed to. Well, I swear, you put some water on the ground, they feel like they need to go faster. You know, I don't know what it is. It's probably an ancestor or something of that nature. Because it knows my name, because it's called it before. I guess anything around you that means you no harm knows your name, though. But this knows my name. But it does not know, well, it did not call me by my nickname. It called me by my full name. So I don't know. Whatever it is all right with me. They ain't did nothing wrong, so keep on keeping on. You know what? No, I did see, I actually don't know. I guess they were, you can call them ancestors too. It's like ancestral spirits. I did see them one day. It was 5 of them, or 4. I'm gonna say 5. And they were in my room actually here in Pittsburgh. And I thought I was just tripping because you know how you half sleep and half awake. So I'm like, huh. It's like 5 figures standing in the room. Now it's dark. And so I'm like, maybe I'm seeing stuff. Fanciful imagination like I have. But no, I got confirmation that it was indeed what I was seeing. That was true, real, and accurate. I even did a reading to see the effects of these 5 ancestor spirits. I'll call them that for lack of a better word. And to see what kind of effect they would have. Because they were there for a reason. I know why they were there. Because I basically summoned them there. I just didn't know that's what was going to happen. But because I had a need, and the ancestors led me through a ritual that I had never done before. And then next thing you know, I got confirmation that, okay, you did what you're supposed to do, leave the rest to your ancestors. Don't think about it, don't worry about it, don't talk about it, don't nothing about it. Or you can talk about it, but don't think about it, don't worry about it. And so I let it go. And then that night, in the middle of my hazy sleep, I look up or turn and look, and standing against the wall was like 5. I'm like, okay. And then boom. It's almost like they were ninjas or something. They like jumped or like went in the air. but like left over. And then they were gone. It's like they were dispatched, is kind of how, if that makes sense. That's what it felt like they were dispatched. And then they did what they were supposed to do. Well, believe it or not, House of Lenormand, I did a reading to see, because it was on my mind. And so I guess it was how do I explain? So it was on my mind to check up on what was happening in this situation. And I did a reading and it said that the situation was indeed being handled per your request. And so after one of the live streams, I had you do a reading on a question that was just in my mind. And you came up with the same thing I came up with. And I'm like, okay, so that is indeed true. Like all that happened, I wasn't making it up in my head and all these different things that happened. At the very least, that's what my cards say and your cards confirm. Is that the thing that I was asking for, or the thing that I asked for, this was part of the consequence of that thing. Well, I didn't say what they were supposed to do because it sounds non-kosher. But it was, let's say it was them protecting me from somebody who was trying to do me harm. And this person had an issue, and that's the issue that I picked up in my cards. And then Becca picked it up in her cards because I said, can you do a reading without me telling you the questions? They said yes. And so my question was, what is happening to this person? And then she came up with the answer, and I'm like, okay, there it is. But now, mind you, it was on my mind to even do the reading simply because this was supposed to be my confirmation that this works. So if you need help from your ancestors, you know how to get it. If you need guidance, you know how to get it. If you just, whatever the case may be, if you just need to talk, you need to vent, you need to whatever, this was your confirmation that there's something listening to you. There's something there. You're not just rattling off words. You're not making it up. You're not crazy. This is my confirmation that there is indeed an ancestral body that is part of your collective. That is part of, as I call it, my saga, my spirit, angels, guides, and ancestors. So it is part of your collective. It is something that is meant to guide, deliver, or protect, or lead and direct. So that was that. But it was interesting. Oh God, that was rain. I thought bird crapped on my shirt. I ain't fooling with you, Mr. Sky. Lord Jesus, I don't want to be loud in these people's neighborhood, but Lord. I got a big giant raindrop. Y'all probably can't see it, his black shirt. I thought a bird crapped on me because it was heavy. Anyway. That threw me off. I don't even know what I was saying. It's like a big plump. I'm like, oh hell, what's going on? That's rain. Anyway, so you have all kinds of different forms of spiritual help out there if you embrace it. Now, mind you, I never did because there's a part of me that's stubborn. There's a part of me that likes to take the pardon the expression, that likes to take the piss out of things. Like I like to debunk things. I like to say, "Oh, that's stupid. You don't have to do that," type of stuff. And I never communicated with ancestors because I always was, now this, Lord Jesus, don't fall down this hill. So I never communicated with ancestors because it always seemed to me like I don't like rituals. I don't like, you have to do it this way or it's not going to work, and the moon has to be in the quarter space and it has to be, I know. And so I like to be stubborn and say, don't do this because of that. Like if you want to talk to God, you don't need to drown yourself in holy water and all these type of things. And so there's I don't like rituals. I don't like the showmanship of it all. I don't like the have tos. And so I never communicate with the ancestors because it's like I don't want to build an altar. I don't want to look witchy for the sake of looking witchy. Not that there's anything even wrong with that, but I just don't like to go and be the stereotype or be the fit in person or be the go along person. I like the difference. I like to be different. I like to sound different, so forth and so forth. But when I actually started, that's when, of course, my ancestors, my guides, and when God and all that good stuff was saying to me, the only reason that not anybody else, that I should do a ritual is when you don't know what to do and you can follow these in particular guidelines. Like, if you do it this way, it will work. That is the reason I personally should follow a ritual, is because you don't know how to do it. And so in order for you to do it, you need to follow these in particular rules, and that will give you the results that you're looking for. So that's what I did. If I don't know how to do it, then I will just follow somebody else's guidelines because it makes sense the way they did it, or it makes sense the way they're doing it. And then you can learn, and then you can always add in your own little flavors after that. Kind of like my cinnamon candle, and that's what it pointed out to me too, is that you do the cinnamon candle for an increase in finance. It's not money falling from the sky, so there's no like lottery winning or nothing like that. It's just, it brings more opportunity for money your way. Like, for instance, you got a job, you light your candle, you get more hours, something like that. But some people do not use cinnamon. They use sprinkles, or they use glitter, or they use something colored green or colored gold, because those represent finances and money. I have cinnamon. I don't have sprinkles. I don't have gold flakes. So I'm not going to go buy none either, because that doesn't need to be. Like, I could do it my way and it still works. But you change the ritual once you find out what it involves, how it works, and then you can conform it to your in particular taste or your in particular environment, or whatever the case may be. And so when I started to commune with my ancestors. That was when they were basically saying, do it your way. You don't have to build an altar, but the funny thing is, I have a bowl that I put rosemary in, rosemary for remembrance. So it helps you connect with your ancestors and things. And then I put the fenugreek seeds in there. Those are for protection and connections. And then I put basil in there. And basil oil too. That's also for protection. And then I have some meditation oil that I have from Adrian. And so I'm sitting there. I got the bowl in front of me and I'm like praying and things. And I'm like, well, this is technically your altar. So I sit there and I fight against conformity, but you're doing it anyway. It's like trying to be unique. The more unique you try to become, the more alike you find out you are. Because nobody on this world, nobody, not even the lady who was hammering a hole in her head, nobody in this world likes something by themselves. There's another person that likes exactly what you like, or at the very least in the sphere of what you like. And so this idea of trying so hard to be different that you're actually the same is something I had to let go of, because like I said, once you take that they're very cookie cutter. Once you take that bowl and you set it in front of you full of herbs, meditation oil, you clasped your hands together like you before, and you start praying. You're following a ritual. You just created your own, you thought, but no, you're following the ritual, and this is your altar, because that's what people do at their altar, is commune with the other side. So don't fight everything. It's not necessary. Like, you don't have to be a penguin to where you look like everybody else. You may look nice, but you look like everybody else. You're indistinguishable. So you don't have to go along with the get along and be a carbon copy of everybody else. But it's okay to do things other people do, because again, you don't do nothing somebody else don't do. You just think so because you want to be special. And that's okay too. As long as you know somebody else just like you. And it's a good thing, because there's your confirmation you're not alone in the world. So you may think, okay, I'm weird, I'm eccentric, I'm crazy, I'm whatever. No, not really. There's somebody else just like you. And the only reason we call it unusual is because what we think usual is we see all the time. But you're just in the spot where you see it all the time. That's why it looks usual. If you saw grown people walking upright, you think, okay, this is a usual thing. Then you see a grown person able-bodied crawling on the ground, you think, okay, that's unusual. But if you go to a spot where they're all doing it, then it's not so unusual. If you are used to that type of thing. And so it becomes the norm. So you don't have to be afraid of the unusual. Just find where it becomes a usual thing and then slide into that. There's your philosophy for the day. It is good to be different. I think it's very good to be different, even. Because that's kind of what makes the world colorful. I think. There are some that are different on the inside, but they live in a usual spots, and so everybody doesn't do what you do, so you have to fit in. Which is why, and I do it too, I will say this, because I'm going to chasten myself here. This is the reason, half the time, I don't go anywhere in my TarotsApprentice shirt. because I don't want to have the conversation about tarot cards with strangers. Well, I didn't when I was in the South anyway. I don't really give a crap up here, but I don't want to have that conversation. And the place I lived in, I had far too many conversations about this man. Okay, I'm going to talk about him real greasy because he got on my nerves. I told y'all this before. I'm going to tell you again. So I'm not sitting, I'm at work, standing behind the register, right? This man comes in, he sees the cross on my neck. And it was a cross my mother gave me, so I'm wearing it. And he says something to, is that a personal belief or is that just fashion? I said, it's just fashion. He said, oh, I don't know how far I've walked today. What time? It's an hour. He said, I'm not walking very fast. He said, so I have to ask you a question. Do you not believe? I said, yes, I do believe in God. He says, so why is it just fashion? These are the kind of conversations you have all the time. If you work somewhere in the South, people come in, you either have this conversation or they're trying to hand you pamphlets for the Kingdom Hall and all these type of things. So I'm like, because it's just fashion. Like, I don't wear my spirituality. I just like jewelry. That's all it is. Besides which, the cross is a symbol of torture. That ain't something I need to exalt. Therefore, it's fashion. And on Calvary's mountain, there was 3 people, not just Jesus. So is this the cross of Jesus or the cross of the 2 thieves he hung between? Or hung between? So anywho, so I'm like, it's just fashion because it's just fashion. I don't wear my spirituality. He said, so now mind you, that was my answer. He ain't heard none of that. The reason he ain't heard none of it is because all he was really interested in was being right. Because somebody told him something and he wants to repeat it to everybody he knows. Because he think he got a real slick argument. So what he said, okay, then if you don't believe, I just told the sucker I did. But he said, if you don't believe, tell me where you came from. Who created you? I said, my parents. He said, no, they didn't. Okay, then, first of all, part B, you older than me. You are older than me, than I. Which means, at this point in time, somebody should have talked to your old behind about the birds and the bees. Now, you got a ring on your finger, so you telling me that at no point, you with your wife or whoever it is you married to, y'all ain't ever got down with the got down at all. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, don't be mean because I'm still at work. But at the same time, I need him to understand what he sound like. Because what you just told me makes no sense. No, they didn't. Tell my mother that. I can have a birth certificate. I mean, how do you think the stork brought me? So, that's, like, It'd have been perfect if somebody pregnant walked through the door while we having this ignorant ass conversation. So I can point to him and say, what is that? Bloating and nacho supremes? What is it? What's in her stomach? The alien baby? So I said, yes, they did. That's all I can say. I said, yes, they did. And of course, he answered me with the Pee Wee Herman. No, they didn't. Okay, then you win. Because the longer you argue with an idiot, the more stupider you sound too. So, okay, I can't. Because stupid is contagious and you not infected me. And so he said, explain the origins of the universe. Now, let's go back. I told this fool, I said, yes, I do believe in God. But all of a sudden, since I'm not Christian, I don't know where babies come from and the universe, how it started. Now, no, I don't know how the universe started. You don't either, because you were not there. All you doing is reading some magical book that told you the answer to something, and that's what you believe. Okay, fine. Believe it. I'm not going to your job to take it from you. I'm comfortable with saying I don't know when I don't know something. Because the more you try to make it up, the stupider you sound. So he said, explain the origin of the universe. And that's when I said, I can't and you can't either. God created it and he went through the whole thing. And I'm like, okay. I said, there's people behind you, so you have a good day. But I can't. I really super can't. But this is the kind of conversations you have all the days in your life in the South. So it's like, I don't want to go nowhere talking about tarot cards. Now, mind you, it got out anyway. Thank you, Bob. I'm like, this is one of them moments. Everybody in retail may have it at least one time where you kind of stand and I got my mother's pose, my hand on the hip, and I'm looking at him, and there's two things running through my mind. One is more violent than the other. And I'm thinking, either I'm about to cuss you out or I'm about to punch you out. Because it's not like we're having a debate about creation and spirituality. He's trying to convince me that he's right and I'm wrong. That leads to an argument. That's not a debate. There's no healthy exchange of ideas. When you ask me where I came from and I said my parents, this is not something I made up. This is scientific fact. God did not create me. So I don't know what else to tell you. That does not mean God can't create a person. He did not create me. I'm pretty sure you weren't there, so you don't know. But go to your mother and ask her, what was it like when the stork brought you? What was it like when you fell from heaven? Did she catch you? Did she have a bassinet? Did you land in feathers? Or did you land on your head? Get the story and then come back to me. But he said, because the beginning of the conversation was a little more civil, because he was saying that he was not a Christian his whole life and sort of became one in his elder years. And then I was a Christian my whole life and then unbecome one the older I got. And so we had that as the beginning of that conversation. Thank you, Duchess. But I can't have conversations with people who don't want to get it, who don't want to listen. Mind you, I do not care if you believe me or not. Just don't disrespect what I'm saying, because I'm not disrespecting what you're saying until you step on my stuff, and then I got to step on yours too, because that's what I do. Because I ain't Mother Teresa, so I don't give up. So when you tell me, explain the origins of the universe, that's when I say I can't and you can't either. And that was the nicest thing I could say. But this whole, I can even have agnostic conversations more so than I can have tarot conversations. Because to a Christian, I used to be one, so I'm gonna tell you what it sounds like, at least to us and our little group of people. To us and our group of people, when a person says they're agnostic or atheist, it sounds like, oh, they're just ignorant and they don't believe in God. Because, they can't tell you where the planets came from, they can't tell you the origin of the universe. They can't tell you why things are, they can't tell you about the spirit and the angels and the blah, 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 blah. So, everything is not just in a science book. We had basically that mentality. When a person said they were atheists, that's what we thought. Is that you just don't know no better. You're not a bad person, you just don't know no better. When a person said they were psychic, or they had visions, or they were a Sylvia Brown enthusiast, or they read tarot cards, that's not ignorance, that's the devil. So this is why I do not want to have this, oh Jesus, somebody doing laundry and it smelled good. That threw me squirrel. But this is why you don't have that conversation, is because it's not ignorance. It's not, you don't know no better. You are full-blown, 100% absolute the devil. Because you're dealing with spirits and demons and ghosts and things. So seances and Ouija boards and tarot cards and psychics and crystals, all of that stuff is of the devil, because it has nothing to do with God, is what we would say. You don't need psychic cards, because you're supposed to be in touch with the Holy Spirit. And so this is why psychics were the devil to us. And then you kind of, I don't mean to say this in a rude way, but to believe in anything that you can't see is a suspension of your physical brain, a suspension of your logic. Because you're going on the assumption something can hear you. Something feels what you feel, is in tune with you, whatever the case. You're going on the assumption that there is some person in the sky that put all this together, that put you here for a reason, so forth and so forth. So, the older I got, and then I embraced my tarot roots, I understood that tarot and God are not different things. That spirit and universe and collective and angels, all of that stuff takes a certain suspension of logic, because you can't see none of it. And yet, at the same time, when you give it the opportunity, it proves to you that it works. Whether it's God or whether it's your psychic ability. It gives you the indication, again, like we had a conversation about the ancestors, there's something there. It works. It's been there before you. It's going to continue to work, so forth and so forth. And so it's it's interesting when you hear a Christian say that's of the devil because you're talking to spirits. Meanwhile, when they pray, they're doing the same thing. It's like the moment you start talking to God, it is the exact same thing as me pulling an ace of cups. So, since that is fact, if you ask me, it is hard to teach that to somebody who is still stuck in the mentality of psychics or the devil. I can't convince you, but not only can I not convince you, I'm not really interested. Because you can believe what you want to believe as long as you're not following me around trying to take it from me. So if you start praying to a being you cannot see, you have no ground to stand on to tell me what I'm doing is occultish and evil. So I can't have that conversation. I just can't. We talk about the weather, sports, but we can't talk about spirituality. Because, mind you, when I would say the words to people, I'm not Christian, they don't hear, I don't call myself Christian. They hear, I don't believe in God. That's what they hear. And that is completely not what I said. Just like that fool who don't know where babies come from. I can't. I would pick the noisy route to walk with. Oh, Lord, yes. But see, selective hearing is definitely 100% what he was operating in. But I told my father this a long time ago. Some people are not actually engaging in a conversation. There are people who are talking to you. That's it, they're not listening, they're talking to you. And they will pause long enough for them to reply to what you just said. That's it. You're not having a conversation. They ain't talking to you and trying to gain an understanding. They trying to teach you something what they know. But when you are in your 50s and you and you don't know where babies come from, there is 100% nothing I can do for you. Like, I get what he was trying to say. You know what? No, I don't. Because I think that's what he was trying to say. because he believes it. Because I did too, from a Christian standpoint. You believe that horse crap, not realizing that, oh, that lighting's bad, not realizing that both can be true. I always said God lays the foundation and then nature takes it the rest of the way. That's what I always said. God doesn't create people anymore because he doesn't have to. Each after their own kind, you can make more. A person and a person can make another person. A dog and a dog can make another dog. Why do you need me to keep doing this? And why didn't I do it right the first time that I got to keep being involved? So that's my thing. Because if nature's not taking it the rest of the way and God is manipulating everything around you, that means he don't give a crap about you. You got tornadoes and earthquakes and typhoons and tsunamis. Like, what are you doing? You kicking your feet in the water? Is that where the tsunami come from? It's nature. It happens. It can be explained. There's scientific evidence, data, where babies come from. I don't know why you walked into a Dollar General and wanted me to explain that to you. So no thank you. I can't help you. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got to teach nobody nothing. Why not come back up this hill? That's what I want to know. There's your scientific evidence, glutton for punishment, right there. Yeah, that too. That too. Well, it's nice over here. A church prophet. Well, the difference, if you ask a religious person, a prophet hears from God. A psychic talks to spirits, which is why we would call them the devil. Or what you're doing is a sin because you're talking to something that ain't God. Which also, I mean, if you think about it, if God created everything, like the man said, let's just go with that and say it's true. Not saying he created tarot cards, but he created a space for these beings to exist that these psychics are talking to. So if I call myself psychic and I say I'm talking to these spirits and you think that's the devil because I didn't call it God, then ask your God, why do they exist? And then get back to me in a day or two when you got your answer. Because ultimately, the onus is on the Almighty. because you allow for this to happen. Now, in the Bible, they put the onus on man because man allowed sin into the world, which again is also a fault of all because your God shouldn't have created it in the first place. So there you go. But a prophet is supposed to know, it's like a signature, a spiritual signature. It's supposed to know the sound of the voice of God. Your spirit is supposed to commune with the Almighty and is supposed to know that feeling and that signature when you are hearing of the Lord or when you are hearing of the devil. Now, the signature is God's voice is very low, not deep, low. It's like the volume is low, and it's very calm. And it also does not repeat. This is what we were taught. And so it's like they're going to tell you something one time. We call it our gut instinct. When you just know, because we always say that little voice told me this, this, and this. Well, that's supposed to be God. He is the little voice. He is not, he's not loud. It's not abrasive, not controlling. It feels calm. It feels gentle, so forth and so forth, as you would think the voice of God would be. It's not a boom out of the sky. It's soft and still, as the Bible says. And so you know the difference based upon the feeling. And so that's where a person can now claim to be a prophet or prophetess, because they hear the voice of the Lord. Now, a psychic, according to the church, a psychic is usually a person who is hearing a voice, but it is not the voice of God. It is the voice of a demon, not necessarily Satan. It is the voice of a demon. This is a person who is being led, kind of like Eve, to where something is tempting you to now further distance yourself from the Almighty. And so you are being led, you are being directed, you are being influenced by an evil spirit. Therefore, there's nothing holy about what you're doing because you're not talking to God. You're talking to a demon. And if you ask a psychic what is the difference between a prophetess, a prophet, and a psychic, they will tell you nothing. It's the same thing. Because psychics know that they're talking to God or they're talking to spirits or whatever they're talking to. It's all in the same realm and it's all pretty much the same thing. So it's not like there's no difference. And they're not jumping to make a difference out of it. Because there is no real need to make a difference when it comes to spiritual things. It's all the same. It comes from the same realm, it sounds the same, it feels the same, blah, 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 blah. So, there's that. It's all based upon what you choose to believe. Because a psychic and a prophet does not have to be mutually exclusive. Now they operate differently. Prophets are not supposed to use tools because they hear directly from God, so you get directly from source. So a psychic who uses tools like cards or stones or whatever the case may be, that's another part of their explanation that you're not hearing from God. But there's no difference. If you listen to me, there's no difference. because I heard stuff from God all the time when I was in the church. Never once called myself a prophet because I understood even back then everybody's psychic because everybody's hearing from the same thing. There's no difference. So there is no, I'm a prophet, I'm a psychic. No, you're all the same thing. You can say you're thirsty and this person can say they're parched, but you still need water and you're still going to go get it from the same place. So it's the same thing. Use your head. It's the same. Oh, there's the woodpecker. But, next time you see me in the church, it's because somebody put me in a box. I can't. And I like the church, mind you. I was, again, with back to the fighting against rituals thing. I was never a full-fledged go along with the get along person. I tried to be though. I did try to be fair. I did try to be 100% on board with everything you said and did. But it's like, that didn't make any sense to me. And maybe it's the Gemini brain that just constantly runs after something else, but it didn't make any sense what you were saying. So if it didn't make any sense, can I say this doesn't make any sense? And it's that I don't know. No, you can't because you can't lean upon your own understanding. You have to trust the word of God. But it came out your mouth. You're a flawed person. So I always try to be a go along with the get along person. But I was never 100%. Oh, good Lord. Trump sign. You still got it up? That's why your grass is dead because it's in your. That's why your grass is dead. You get that damn sign out your yard. Anyway, that's why I just never wanted to go back because it was just way too many things that didn't make any sense. And I don't want to be a part of anything that feels cultish or brainwashes. And it's like, I'd see, and that was my favorite part of church was the preaching. I didn't really care for the singing. I can listen to music in the car. I always liked the preaching part. When it was an uplifting message, even if it's, not so much. I like preaching. And maybe it's, that's just part of my makeup because I used to be a preacher, but I liked the preaching part. I liked the word. I liked all that. I still do. It's just there's some people that or some organizations that I feel no that I know cherry pick their message. And then once you start doing that, you no longer have anything holy about you. You're not trying to help people. You're trying to be right. And then we go back to the origin of the universe, man. You don't really care about trying to help or trying to minister or trying to lead, guide, and direct. You're just trying to be right. So I can't. I preached several times, but my messages were they were kind of like oracle readings. They were just, here's how you can feel good today. I was not a prosperity preacher. I was not a fire and damnation preacher. Neither one of those appealed to me because, first of all, ain't a single person I'm talking to ever been to hell. You ain't ever been to heaven either. You probably, just by statistics, you probably never died either. And so I am not going to get up and talk about your afterlife or punishment for not being a good person. And then I'm not interested either in teaching you how to gain money from a church pulpit. And that was actually part of my imposter syndrome too, to where, good morning, Wayne, to where I didn't want to appear to be a Creflo Dollar type. And mind you, nobody accused me of such a thing, but I always took great steps to make sure that I was not anywhere in the vicinity of a prosperity preacher, or image wise. So I didn't want to appear to be one of them people. Just kind of like now, the reason I don't call myself psychic, because I don't want to appear to be a person who is claiming to be right all the time, or is claiming to have the answer to whatever question you ask me. Because again, I am very comfortable with I don't know. So if I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I'm not going to pull it out the air just for the sake of giving you an answer, or for the sake of looking like I know answers when I don't. Because that would be the thing to do if you're trying to promote yourself as some all-knowing. Is, oh, I know things, so ask me a question and I'm going to tell you something, and then once you tell me, and this is another thing people used to do, once you tell me that doesn't resonate, I'm going to tell you, write it down, and may make sense later. And it's like, okay. Instead of, well, let's rephrase the question, and then maybe we'll get a more clear answer. Because these things do matter when you are asking spirit something, and you ask it too vague, it's going to throw you completely off, because it may now be starting to talk about something else. Because it's like, okay, I'm not answering that because half of that didn't make sense, so let's go with something else. And people who get readings and all they want is like a general reading, it's going to be all over the map. Because there's usually 5 to 10 cards in a tarot spread, and it's going to tell you a whole bunch of anything. And it may not even be about you. It could be somebody around you that you need to communicate with. So questions are important. But back to what I was saying. This is why I was never those type of people or type of preacher. I didn't want to talk about hell, and I didn't want to talk about money. Because really what people need, I think, this is just me, when you go to church, what you really need is to be uplifted. Now, if you want to learn about the Bible, then study it. Church is not a good place to study the Bible, even when you go to Bible study. The reason being is because they don't start from Genesis. Some of them do. Actually, the one I went to did. They don't start from Genesis 1 and then go all the way to the book of Revelation. They hop around and teach you about people, or teach you about passages or things like that. And I don't think that's an effective way to teach somebody the Bible if that's something you want to study. So I think you just need to uplift instead of beat down. Because I said before, the people who do the most damage to the image of God is Christians. Well, religious people. Because they give you the impression that God hates everything. And that God's going to kill you if you eat shrimp, or if you're gay, or if you have sex outside of marriage, or if you have a baby and no husband, and if you're a woman and you talk in church. It's like it gives you the impression that he's just going to be the most furious person on earth, or furious spirit in heaven, when none of that is accurate. So that's why I think you just need a little more positivity, is what I think. Fellowship is everything. Because, I mean, if you just look at the rest of life, you have interest groups, whether it's flower arranging or basketball tournaments or whatever. Arts and crafts has really big fellowship circles. Divination has very big fellowship circles. And so I like the arts and crafts ones more. I don't like arts and crafts, but I like to see people's creativity. I think it's a wondrous thing to see that a person's mind can envision something and boom, there it is. So I think that's an amazing thing to see. Divination circles, I tend to stay away from because at some point, somebody in the group, or more than somebody's, a few somebody's, has got an ego problem. And I think ego is a very dangerous thing when it comes to spirituality because it gets in the way of everything. Because now it's about me. Never mind God and spirit and, the divine and my cars or my bones or my shards of glass or whatever the heck it is I'm reading with. Never mind that. I'm good. I'm fantastic. I'm Swami Nanda. Just like, no, I can't. And then there's a person in the group who's written 900 books, and so they sit on a throne. And it's like when it comes to spiritual things, or spiritual tools, or spiritual practices, or spiritual groups, I just don't go along with the notion that it's about a person, or that it's about you. You, and this here's from something from the Bible for you, that God will exalt you in public or in the face of your enemies as well too. So you don't have to put yourself on a pedestal. Other people will relish in your presence. Other people will compliment you and, oh, you're so good, and oh, you're so this, and oh, people will do that. Because there's something on you, especially if you have some humbleness about you, there's something on you that will draw people to you. Everybody. Not just psychics, but everybody. I don't care if you sell cotton balls. There will be people hovering around you saying, oh, you're the best cotton ball salesman in this side of the Mason-Dixon. But if you go in and everything is about you because you're the greatest cotton picker in the world, then I don't know, it just kind of takes the luster off of your accomplishment or off of your talent. Because you're not really doing it to love it and do it to do it. You're doing it for accolades and acknowledgments and self-promotion. But if that's you, you do you, boo. It don't work for me. It just don't. Okay. Like, I can't. Because there are a few people who, I'm going to be messy for a second, covertly. There are a few people who reached out to me early on in my YouTube's careers and was like, this is what you should do. This is because they were some sort of mentor to some other people. A few people did this to me, and they still do this really, because everybody knows more than I do apparently. So it's like, this is what you should do. You can grow your channel this way, and you need to pay attention to this metric and this. And I'm like, wait, first of all, at no point did I ever say this was my career. Ever. Second of all, at no point was I ever interested in trying to mentor anybody. If you got a question and I got the answer, I'm going to give it to you. Period. You ain't got to thank me in no letter to the president or nothing like that. You had a question, I had the answer, why would I not give it to you? And then I was offered a spot to sit in somebody's class on Zoom about divination and tools of divination. And now I have no hubris about, oh, I know my cards, you can't teach me nothing. But I will admit that a part of me was like, wait a minute, what are you trying to say? Now, mind you, this was not free. It's a different thing if you sent me a an invitation saying, hey, I'm giving a lecture, like it if you sit in. No. You said I'm holding a Zoom meeting and it's some I don't even know how you do charge on Zoom. Can you do that? Anyway, I guess you can because they can send you invitations or whatever, but let me know if you're interested. First of all, who are you? Second of all, no, I'm not interested. Third of all, I went to your channel, said person. Okay, this I don't want this to sound how it's gonna sound, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and then you take it however you want to. Energy readings, whatever they are, whether it's zodiac, whether it's like we're gonna do on Friday, energy readings do not prove anything from a divination standpoint. What you told me is what you feel. What you feel is not fact. It's something you felt, and then you shared it with me. So when I tell you, oh, Donald Trump, I pulled the Ace of Cups, he's feeling so many emotions today. Okay, what does that mean? It don't mean anything, like at all. Who ain't feeling emotions every day? You have a bunch of them. So I can't, I don't want a tarot lesson from an oracle, a person, because I'm an oracle. And I don't want a person who just feels things. I need you to also see or hear something too. Like, I need you to give me something concrete. Give me something that makes me say, okay, at least you're the broken clock syndrome to where you're at least right twice a day. You're not going to get everything right. I would never hold a person to that because that's impossible even. But, because free will is a thing, in the words of Miss and Joy. So, I need you, though, to give me something that tells me you are more than I feel. I need something. I need you to touch base on something. And the people that you have seen me read with are people that I have also, I think with the exception of Lori, Ganga, and, oh Lord, oh no, I have gotten readings from everybody. And I would get a reading from Lori, from Ganga, and from Ona. But I have gotten readings from Jen, I have gotten readings from Becca, I've gotten readings from Adrian, I've gotten readings from Sienna. So these are people that have not only read from me, but have touched based on something that is based in fact. It wasn't a bunch of, I feel, I believe. They say this is what the cards say. Okay, that makes sense to me. So if that's what your cards are saying, and it makes sense to me, then there must be something to you. So these people can teach me something about divination. The people who can't teach me nothing about divination are people who don't touch on nothing except the cards on their table. I need you to do something more than I feel. Period. So it's no it's by design. The people that are in rotation on my channel, the people that you see all the time, these are the people I got readings from before. The people, and that's just not to say the people who are not on my channel are not psychic or blah blah blah. I just have not run across these people. Oh Jesus, karma. Oh, I won't. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something in a minute here, so I don't just sound like I've lost my mind. I'm going into hysterics. Wait a minute. Okay, so I told this to Becca and Jen too. Oh Jesus. Okay, I won't say who, but I was watching a psychic on YouTube. Oh Father Jesus. Okay, I was watching this person. I, you gonna stop today? That's what you gonna do. Okay, so I'm sitting there watching this person, right? And you know how you do when you just listening, because I don't really need to see the cards, because I just need you to tell me what you got. So, whew, Jesus. So, this person is doing their stuff, and they're looking at the screen like this here, right? And then off to the side, they started to look. Where their telephone, if you ask me, that's where their telephone was sitting. And they got a psychic impression from their session they were doing. And that psychic impression, word for word, was being read off of CNN. The reason I know that is because by coincidence, maybe, I was reading the exact same thing. Because I wasn't listening, I was on my telephone. And then, as I said, they were looking this way and then started looking over here and then gave you the psychic impression that they were being psychic and not reading CNN. Oh, I fell out. Because I like to watch other people, to see who's who and whatever. Especially if, they got smaller channels than mine. It's like, okay, so I can tell you about it and such, because you might like it too. But why do you need to read CNN? Sucker, you have psychic magic cards in front of you. Pull it. See, but here's the thing. It's about image and ego. All you want to do is appear to be psychic. That's it. You're not worried about being right. You're not worried about being helpful. You just want to be right. You want people to think you have some sort of magic power that they don't have. Oh, I can close my eyes and hear things. Why you gotta close your eyes? Do you hear with your eyeballs? Is that your focus ritual that you do? So it's disappointing at times when you see things like that. And mind you, this person, I'm like, okay, let me watch and see what's going on. But I can't associate. And that's not to say I'm better than anybody or trying to exalt myself or anything like that. But I can't associate with a person who's only concerned with their image. If all you want to do is be right, then we can't hang out. We can't. Because at some point, what's gonna happen is we're gonna do a reading. I'm gonna get something different than you, and then you're gonna spend the next 18 months trying to teach me how I was wrong. Because all of a sudden, you're the Hierophant and I'm the Page of Cups. I gotta learn from you. And then I get invited to your Zoom class, and it's just, I can't. Like, humble thyself. That's all I'm saying. It's okay to be wrong. You're gonna be wrong. Because free will is a thing, in the words of Miss and Joy. It is a thing. You tell me what I'm gonna do, and then I intentionally do the opposite. Guess what? Your reading is now wrong. No, it's not really wrong. It changed. I changed the outcome based upon what you said. Forewarned is forearmed. You can do that. It's okay. It's your destiny. You don't have to go by the magic paper cards. You do what you want to do. So if you have not seen a person on my channel, it is not because I don't like them. It's probably because I don't know who they are. But if I have had the opportunity, then it's by design. I don't want to watch. I don't want to read with you. That's okay too, because there's nothing wrong with that. Because who am I? I'm a person like you are. So it's not a bad thing. You do what you want to do. Just don't do it on my channel, is all I'm saying. Yeah. And I've gotten readings from, I got a reading from, I need to do a video with her too. It'll be another energy thing. She's one of my moderators, Miss and Joy's Tarot. We'll have to do a reading. But Friday, again, public service announcement. Friday, it'll be me and Red Lentil Healing and Shining Hawk Healing. We will be doing energy reads for a whole host of people, political and non-political, just to see what's going on in their energy. A couple hours of I feels for entertainment purposes only. We are not their shamans, we are not their healers, but we're going to try to tell you what's going on the inside. So that's that. Yeah, anybody and everybody. I got one celebrity so far. I want to see how Sharon Osbourne's energy is going. Now, mind you, the spread that I have laid out for myself it's intentional to get an intentional answer. So what I'm going to do is start in the middle and say, this is what's going on with this person right now, energetically speaking. And that should coincide with the headlines. And then the left hand is your receiving hand. So on the left, we will believe this is what the person needs to be receiving from the spirit. On the right hand, the CNN psychic, yeah. I should do a video with the CNN psychic just to see just to see how much is actually being read from their telephone. And then the right hand, we will see what it is that you are giving, something that you are pushing out. This is the type of energy you're pushing out. And then we will see what Spirit has to say about you with your crowning thoughts, and then we will see your outcome. So that's is that a duck? What are you? Is that a goose? It's the long neck. Sounds like a duck though. No, it's a goose. What's good for the goose is good for the geese, right? So yeah, bye immortal. So that's what we're gonna do Friday. Shining Hawk Healing does a lot of chakra readings as well. So I'm gonna try my hand at a chakra read or two. I did read the book, so so I have a beginner's grasp on the chakras. So I will try. Adrian will be my leader there. She's a shaman, so she'll be able to tell me if I'm wrong or right. Good morning. And Shining Hawk Healing made my prayer stick, my wand. So I'll show you all that on Friday too. She's supposed to have an Etsy store and a website that she's working on. So we'll get an update on that too. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. Well, no, I don't understand. Yes, I do. It's addiction. But if Ozzy Osbourne is, as they say, got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, and yet his behavior does not alter, it does not change whatsoever. Sharon Osbourne always gets the old sister girl hugs because people feel bad for her because he cheats on her every 9 days and he's always high or he's always in the hospital because he overdosed and seizured or whatever the case may be. And by her own admission, this came from her lips. This is not hearsay, it's not rumor, conjecture, it is from her. She was his mistress when Ozzy Osbourne was married to somebody else. She was a groupie. That's what she was. She was his mistress. This is from her lips. So, if you approached a man who is a cheater and cheated with him on his current spouse, and then he did it to you, you don't get sympathy. Who gets the sympathy is the person he was with, unless she did it to some other woman. But you don't get it because you slept with him when he was in a relationship with somebody else. And then when he did it to you 419 times, now you want to play victim too. Because you didn't believe fat meat was greasy and you got your feelings hurt and now you want somebody to feel bad for you. No, boo-boo. That ain't how it works. At all. You got what came to you. Like, is it right? No. But that's the precedent. You gave that sucker the impression long time ago that these little gallivanting waves were okay. Because he was a star. He was a rock star. And you were the person that he had his little tryst with. That y'all had your little sneak away moments. So you just take all that. All that's for you. You deserve him. All your anguish and your torture is self-inflicted because you could have left him at any moment. But you, because your identity, your fame, your notoriety, your fortune came from him. Period. And for whatever reason, you got that Edith Bunker syndrome to where you feel like if you don't have this man, then you ain't worth nothing. Or your identity is attached to him. You're not Sharon Osbourne. You're Mrs. Ozzy Osbourne. Like, no. You know, if that's what you want to do in your relationship, you go ahead and do it. But I'm not really one of these, the woman is the neck persons. The man is the head, the woman is the neck. No. No. Just no. You do what you want to do, but for me, no. I always said that your marriage is supposed to be like a game of chess. The queen technically has the most power, but there is no game without the king. So you have to take care of each other. But Lord, they deserve each other. Because he needs somebody, he probably don't know it. I wonder if he knows it. Like, he needed her. He did need her. And she probably more than likely kept him alive this long. But at one point, do you take care of yourself first? And say, you know what, not I'm not honoring myself by constantly kowtowing to you and your needs and trying to take care of you or make sure you breathing and all these. Like, I can't. I got to worry about you on the road, sleeping with the person down at the Cracker Barrel. Like, I just know. I got to worry about you so that much. It just ain't worth it. I can't. Why does this say 3 minutes? Did it disconnect on me? I ain't been paying attention. Sharon Osbourne, Monique. Did the stream start over? Did I disconnect? But now, she having her own little identity crisis. So that's why I wanted to put her, okay, because it says I've been live for 3 minutes. I was like, what the heck happened? Okay. So, from what I have read, because I didn't watch the video because I didn't want to watch it, Piers Morgan fancies Meghan Markle. And so he tries to take the crap out of her all the time and was very rude and so forth and so forth. And so he had a hissy fit, storms off the stage because he's been more than rude in regards to Meghan. And so Sharon Osbourne says that she supports him 100%. Because that's her buddy. Because I think they were on what? London's Got Talent, England's Got Talent, one of them things, Britain's Talented People, Star Search, whatever it was, they did together. Which first, wait a minute. I mean, okay. Here's my thing. How Does two people who can't sing and can't dance get to judge people who can? Like, like, okay. Anyway, so they were doing one of them things, right? And so that's her buddy. She's known him since 78 type buddy, right? And naturally, kind of like Whoop did for Bill Cosby, when that's your friend and you feel like you know them and you spent all this time with them and y'all talked on the phone, hey girl, hey, you feel like, okay, I know them enough, I care about them enough to defend them no matter what. Because even if you don't know everything about somebody, like for instance, if we turned on the internets one day and we saw a a post, not a video, just a post. Jen Lentero drives her car into somebody's fence in a fit of rage. Now you may think, oh my goodness, some people. And then people like me would be like, no. I think she would set it on fire before she damaged her own property too. So I don't think she's gonna drive her car into nothing. So, we come up with the excuse and all these type of things. So I get where she's coming from, trying to take up for her buddy. How and ever, when your buddy is being accused of racism, what you should do as a fellow white person, especially as a fellow English white person, what you should do is nothing. Have the conversation and say the words, because it's going to come up on the show. Say the words, that's not the Pierce I know. That's all you say. Because that then entails other people. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he's not racist. I'm saying that's not who I know. And then leave it at that. Don't start, because that's also defending him, but that's not saying what he did was right or what he did was wrong. That's just saying that's not the person you know. That's what everybody who knows Bill Cosby said. Meanwhile, all them people still got jobs and they ain't been canceled. Felicia Rashad said that's not who she know. Whoopi Goldberg said that's not who she know. Keisha Knight Pulliam, that's not who I know. Malcolm Jamal Warner, that's not who I know. And they left it at that. They didn't say, oh, the women went to his room, so what did they think was going on? They didn't go through the whole story and try to make up something. They said that's not who I know and left it at that. Meanwhile, all of them still got jobs and Bill Cosby in jail. So if Pierce Morgan gets canceled, you can make sure you don't get canceled with him and just say that's not who I know. So if Jen runs her car into somebody's fence, I'm going to just say that's not who I know. And I'm going to leave it at that. Because you don't know. You just think you do. And so now she had a blow up and fall down with Cheryl Underwood and said, prove to me I'm racist. Educate me. How am I racist? And then you get all the little rumors and the conjecture and the scuttlebutt in the back about her talking about Sarah Gilbert and her lesbianism and talking about Julie Chan and her Mandarinism. So it's, all of a sudden people are things and not people anymore. But I never liked Sharon Osbourne because I always felt like she was manipulative. There is one person from the original cast of that TV show, and it's her. Everybody else is gone. Now, with respect to Julie Chen, though, she left because of Les Moonves. But everybody else who was on that show, Leah Remini, Holly Robinson Pete, That other child, Sarah Gilbert, all of them gone. All of them. She said Holly Robinson Pete was too ghetto. Holly Robinson Pete. If you don't know who that is, just Google her on YouTube. Listen to the way she talk. Listen to her look at her mannerisms. Listen to her conversation, and then tell me where you find ghetto. That now Leah Remini, I can get Leah Remini is ghetto because she's loud. But I like her energy. She's hilarious. She's a personable person. So I liked her on the show. Because, she was crunk, as we say in the streets. I liked her. I liked the original cast. Sarah Gilbert, she was, whatever. Now, mind you, let's go here too. Sarah Gilbert created the show, and she ain't even there anymore. So, and the only person from the original cast who was still there is Sharon Osbourne. So I can't. I never could with her. Professional victim, if you ask me. Now they can give. Now where's Eve? Is Eve still there? I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't have a TV though. I wonder is Eve still there? Or did she go back to London or something? Because when they started, like when Cheryl Underwood first started that show, I felt some kind of way about her on the show too. Not because I don't like Cheryl Underwood. I like Cheryl Underwood. I didn't like what was going on around Cheryl Underwood. When she got there, one of the first stories they told is how her and Sharon Osbourne went to a restaurant. They went to go eat together, I guess, to get to know each other, or whatever the case may be. And so they're sitting across from each other, and Sharon Osbourne throws up all over Cheryl Underwood. Like projectile vomit, is what she said. All over her. And I'm like, okay, things happen, and sometimes that's one of them things that you can't control all the time when you're going to be sick and you may not control where it's going to go and blah, blah, blah. But this sounds a whole lot like you did it on purpose. And I had to examine myself for a second. This is back when Cheryl first got on the show. When she first got on the show, she told this story. Sharon told the story, actually. Um, and it was one of them things where I had to say to myself, am I being black sensitive right now to think that everything that's done to a black person is racial? But at the same time, who in the hot box of hell gets thrown up on and that's okay? We sitting at a restaurant. Why are you sick in the first place? And why are you throwing up on me? Eve is a rapper. She was on the show, The Talk. She was one of the hosts. She's married to some English billionaire. And so I guess she's back. She's back in England. He runs gumball races or something? I don't know. But I had to say to myself, what in the world? Who gets thrown up on? And that's okay. Like this, I mean, it happens. No, it don't happen. If you're four, okay. Then, Kim, you never know. And then you fast forward. Oh, it's a kitty staring out the window. And then you fast forward, and they do a show about stereotypes. And then Julie Chan comes out with glasses on, eating rice. because they're doing the show about stereotypes. So she's Mandarin. She comes out with squinty eyes eating rice. Okay. And then Aisha Tyler, who was another black woman on the show at the time, she came out with the grill, which for those who don't know, it's they go over your teeth and they're real shiny and glittery and they got diamonds in them sometimes or whatever. Looks like a mouth guard, but it's shiny. So she comes out with a grill and a big old Flavor Flav locket with a hat turned backwards and a pants sagging. Sarah Gilbert, the lesbian of the show, comes out with a, what do you call those, flannel shirt. And then she came out with hairy legs and a flannel shirt. Because all lesbians wear flannel shirts and got hairy legs. Sharon Osbourne came out with big teeth because teeth are supposed to be bad in European countries. Cheryl Underwood was not out there. She came late because black people are habitually late. So she came late, and then she was eating fried chicken when she came out there. I felt some kind of way. I get what they were doing, but I still felt some kind of way. I'm like, I get that, and mind you, this is in the beginning of her being on the show, and what I felt was they're seeing how much she would do to see how long she could stay. If you got, because people in these in particular places, these production studios and recording studios, they don't like to hear no. Because you're a troublemaker. That's why they branded Monique a troublemaker. Because she said, no, I'm not working for free. And so it felt to me like Sharon was being tested to see if we can do the most egregious of things, and then you'll go along with it. I know it, Gia. And fast forward a little bit more. Everybody is sitting at the table. You got Aisha, Sarah, Sharon, Julie, Cheryl. They're all sitting at the table. And they start talking about Miley Cyrus. And she had her hair done in the little knots like Miley Cyrus did in, I think, in her Wrecking Ball video or something like that. And then they dumped water on her head. The only one sitting at the table that gets water dumped on her head is Cheryl Underwood. And I'm thinking to myself, why? I get comedy and I get anything for a laugh. But what I'm not going to do is let you dump water on my head and I be the only one, number one. Number two, we're not doing a show about racial stereotypes, period. Just for the respect of anybody sitting at that table, whether white, black, or whatever. And so there's just certain things that I feel like they were putting her through to see if she would do it. And now she got a job as long as she wanted. Because she endured the humiliation or whatever else she had to endure to secure that bag, as they say. Which, I mean, you do you. I'm not paying your rent, so I can't tell you what's something you should do and something you shouldn't do, but it ain't something I'm doing. Like, just, I can't. It's up to you. Personal decision. I just can't. Mm-mm. See, but that's the thing. If um, if you hear a story that Jen ran her car into somebody's fence, there's a reason. Now, Aries may be hot-headed, but they ain't stupid. I can talk about who I want to, Fireside. You talk about what you want to on your own channel. I like Meghan Markle. If you don't like Meghan Markle, you don't have to. I ain't gonna force you. But she ain't persona non grata over here. Y'all leave that child alone. Everything in the world ain't got something to do with Trump. That's y'all friend. Eh. Do I know Meghan Markle? Yes, I do. She lives upstairs in my house. You don't know Meghan Markle because she don't live upstairs with you. She's the new divider. Oh, okay. You see how quick I am for this. But we're not gonna start no Megan discussion. Oh God, Megan. Ugh. I got her on the list too. Megan McCain is special. She had to come out and apologize for saying she didn't mind it being called the China virus. Like, here's what I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. Why is she still on that show? Because some people say she's there because of ratings. She's a good ratings driver. I don't know if I believe that. Like, I specifically do not watch this show because of her. Now, I'm not a million people, but I feel like it's at least two, three more of us out there that specifically do not watch The View because of Meghan McCain. I don't like the way she talk. I don't like the way she talk to people. I don't like the sound of her voice. I don't like the look of her face. It's just like I can't. She drives me up the wall and back down again. She has a horrible, horrible I raised myself attitude. Because she act like she just grew up. Because she act like she don't have any home training, respect for her elders. The way she talked to them people on that show, like I can't. Like everything she say sound like she got an attitude when she say it. Everything. She can say her name is Meghan McCain and she sound like she cussing somebody out. Like I can't. Like I literally cannot stand the way she interacts with people. And mind you, I think her husband is borderline QAnon. I really do. He came out because their family is having a scandal too. Her husband's father is involved in something he shouldn't be. I did a reading on a long time ago. I can't remember what it was, but he came up in the news. So her husband gets on some vlog somewhere and says that he believes Joe Biden is senile. And they give you these examples to how he's senile. Maybe he stutters sometime, which I believe he had a stuttering issue when he was younger. But how he stutters sometimes, how he feels like he's going to fall over. Not that he's seen him fall over, because this was before the whole up the stairs thing. That he feels like he's going to fall over sometimes. And I'm thinking to myself, where are you getting this from? So he sounds like he may be a quacker. We'll have to look at him too. Dominique or whatever the heck his name is. We'll have to look at him too. Because where do you get this from? Yeah, he's a piece of work. But I can't. And what's this Fox News business about people melting down because somebody, oh, that's what. Somebody said the truth on there and they had that. Oh, that gives me the global perspective every time I think about. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, fire sign. It's a person, Malibu Roo. Every time I think about Fox News, that gives me the global perspective. That we're all here on this planet. Oh, that's pretty. Squirrel, sorry. The clouds, you probably won't see it if I show it to you, but I'm going to show you anyway. The clouds look like they're making a star, and I think it's precious. Yeah, you probably won't see that. It's like, okay, so here's one peak right there. You see the peak goes up, goes down. And then there's another peak right there, and then there's another one right there. I always love how the sun pokes through. You get the God rays. But it's interesting. Sorry, squirrel. And so I always think we're on this earth together. We're supposed to exist in the same spaces. And there's a group of people who know that there is another group of people that will believe anything. So they purposefully lead them in the wrong direction. And then in the global perspective, you think to yourself, why, not how, because the Spirit answered us and said muscle memory, but why would you do this to another person? Why would you feed them lies on purpose? Just to keep them constantly angry at somebody else. To whip them up in a frenzy. Now, I get how they can do it. Like I said, once you do something, excuse me, I'm talking. Once you start to do something, it becomes easier and easier to do it every day. I walk up the hill, it becomes easier to make it up the hill because you do it every day. So I get how they can do it. You be a horrible person every day, you can be a horrible person tomorrow because it's easy now. But why would you keep a person constantly upset? Is it simply for ratings? Is it simply for power? Is it simply for money? Combination of all And then what does that give you, though? How are you satisfied with just that? How are you satisfied with more ratings when you know that you have caused harm to a person for absolutely no legitimate reason? And not just Fox News, anybody that goes out on a daily basis. Sadistic, that's a good word. When you go out on a daily basis and you are harming the psyche of another person for your own personal gain, because you're not telling them, hey, you are legitimately under attack by somebody. You're telling them you're under attack by specific groups of people. Antifa, which is not even a group. Chinese people, which when you break it all the way down, they don't know the difference between Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, or nothing else. So they group it all together and they're all bad people. So how do you exist doing a horrible thing constantly to somebody else? That is sadistic. That is beyond wrong. That's a whole different type of thing. Because you don't really gain nothing from that. You think you do. But there's an energy print to things like that. And it makes a mark on you. It makes a mark on you and is coming back to you. Because it has no choice. It comes back to the mark. Yeah, he did. You better hush. I was talking. All the rest of the birds, oh, the clouds are clearing. There's the white ball of death. Anyway, off of that. How long I've been out here? I don't even know. I can't even check because my thing is not right. I think 2.5 hours maybe. I think I came out around 8 something. Two hours. 2 hour walk. Okay, that's good exercise. I can go eat something crazy then, can't I? What are we gonna eat? I don't even know. What are we gonna eat? I bought Beijing beef though. Spinach salad. You know what? The salad sounds good though. Like no lie, it really does. I don't have any. No lettuce, no nothing. The temperature is supposed to be 75 today, but it's still morning time, so it hasn't climbed there quite yet. But it's between 57 and 75 because it was 57 when I started out. And it is a little warmer now, especially since the clouds are moving out. Pancakes sound good too. Eggs, toast, hash browns, coffee. That sounds good too. I think I'm hungry. Everything sounds good. You probably say worm ice cream. I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds good too. We got chocolate chips. You know what though? I wanted pancakes this morning and sausage. Talk to them, Keisha. They're energy spirits just like you. You tired from it? See, when actually no, it wasn't. When I lived in Oklahoma, I had to walk 4 miles one way to get to work. Whatever was falling from the sky, I had to walk in it. Me, myself, and I. So what we gonna eat? What you gonna have, swearing? There is a breakfast place close to here, but it's like IHOP. They serve everything all day. They make really good stuff too. That's where I get my hamburgers now. Wendy's is across the street, but I don't want to go across the street to go to Wendy's. And I ain't really no Wendy's fan. But these people are better. And it's a family restaurant, so it has that. What's Pamela's? Well, see, it has to be something I can walk to. Something I can walk to or something I can DoorDash. But every time you DoorDash something, it's $100, so I don't want to DoorDash. Boy, let me eat. So what I had yesterday, I bought this pizza. That was all right. Then I had fried ravioli, fried mozzarella, and then fries, and then my brother had a gyro, or a gyro. That's what we had yesterday. No, the day before. And then we had Beijing beef yesterday. Oh, you're getting your shot, Ace Spy? That's good. No, I can eat, oh, thank you, King Chris. I eat a breakfast and definitely don't feel nauseous. I feel happy. Monroeville is down the street from here, so it's not far. If there's something there I need to check out. Because I think the Monroeville Mall is, I don't know, I'm not even going to try that. It's a few miles from here. The new shoot 'em up. Me and my brother go places and we name everything. We started this in California when there was a grocery store that sold one particular item we'd always get, but they always had shootings over there. So we named it Shoot 'em Up. It's like, you going to shoot 'em up? Yes. And then there's another one, like in the heart of the ghetto. And unfortunately, there's a certain mentality with people who feel disconnected and disenfranchised, and so they fight all the time. All the time. So we called it Fight Town. So are you going to Fight Town? And so we have that here too. Monroeville Mall is Shoot 'em Up. Because somebody told me, don't ever go there because there's always a shooting. So we don't go there. Because since I've been here, it's been what, since September, there's been 3 shootings that I know of in the news. 3. So yeah, I don't go there. Oh wait, let me see. Pamela's. See, now all of these places I walk. I have no idea. I can look it up though. But if they ain't on DoorDash, then I probably won't get nothing from them. We'll have to make that a Saturday thing when we actually go out in the world. I still need to do that. You see my good old Gemini lies and procrastinations? I said, oh, I'm gonna try to venture out into Pittsburgh at least like twice a month. I ain't did it yet. I had the initial drive to do so, but this is enough. I'm outside though. Okay, Pamela's. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find that and screenshot Pamela's. Okay, where's he? Okay, Pamela's. I do want a salad though. That sounds fantastic. Especially if I get like a bunch of crap to throw in it. My junky salads, as they call it. And go and get the lettuce, get the croutons, get the tomato, cheese, pickles, grapes, apples. Sometimes I put the sunflower seeds in there too. And the pepperoncinis and dressing. Kitchen sink salad. That's what I'm going to do. I do think that's what I'm going to do. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see means no. That's what I always have come to realize. We'll see means no. It's a junky salad. It's got a bunch of crap in it. It's not like lettuce, tomato, and croutons. It's lettuce, tomato, croutons, pickles, apples, grapes, pepperoncinis, sunflower seeds. Sometimes. Sunflower seeds can be annoying because they're small. And, anything else you want to throw in there. I need. So whatever you want to throw in there, that's what I would put in there. That's a lot of stuff to carry. I don't feel like carrying it. I don't want to Instacart. What else can I put in there? The produce in this store that's closest to me, they should be embarrassed. Like, I know this may not be farm country or whatever. I'm pretty sure there's some farmland in Pennsylvania somewhere. But this business of you got a whole tub of tomatoes, all of them look like they victims of domestic abuse. They got bruises and scratches and dents and black marks. Then you go to the apples. The apples look like the tomatoes. Dents and scratches. I'm like, did y'all take the produce and roll it around on the floor before you brought it out here? What in the 10 types of hell is going on? The only thing that looks halfway presentable are the potatoes. Pomme de terre. Pure starch. That's it. Everything else looks horrible. The grapes, half of them are mushy. You go to the spinach got black edges. Trim your edges, spinach. You go to the lettuce, half the lettuce is inedible. Like, so where do y'all get this from? You know what it looks like. It looks like the good grocery stores got the good stuff, and then what was left over they bought. That's what it looked like. Because there's a grocery store here called the Giant Eagle, but it's called Marketplace, at Giant Eagle or something like that. It's way out in the sticks somewhere. Not technically, but it's far from here. So you go over there and everything is shiny. And they got the dim lights where it looks, it looks like a gourmet grocery store type of thing. It's real pretty. And it looks wonderful. All the apples is buffed and shiny like they got individual treatments. Like they all came from the spa. The grapes are nice. Tomatoes is nice. They even got like freshly squeezed juice down in there next to like the naked juice and the kombucha and all that stuff. I'm like, this is a grocery store. You go to this one over here, it's like what you want. Try to find something like it because you ain't gonna find it exactly. This is the thrift store of grocery stores. What you gonna find? Jesus. Now, if you want something unhealthy, you can find that. They got 99 different types of bags of potato chips. Lord. How many flavors of chips do you need? Oh, we have a garlic and onion. We have a chive and onion. We got a sour cream and onion. We got a cheddar cheese and onion. We got a Dorito with onions. We got all kinds of flavors, but you buy some apples. All y'all bananas is green, so you can't buy them and eat them right away. Like, get out of here. I can't. The Giant Eagle is where it's at, though. But the Giant Eagle, now look here. You got to put you some good tennis shoes on, because that sucker is a warehouse. It's gigantic. Anything you think you might want to eat, they got it. They got whole pigs walking around in there. You want one, buy you one. It's ridiculous. But it's fun going in there because everything is nice and presentable. This a place over here, child, please. And then down the street from them, this little supposed to be grocery store is a Aldi's. Aldi's is I can't with an Aldi's. Aldi's is a good place to go get like meats and things because there's really no such a thing as off-brand meat. Now, not to sound bourgeois, but I don't really care for off-brand things or things that the name I don't recognize. Because by coincidence, the things I like tend to be non-off-brand. And you go in there, I don't recognize nothing except Coca-Cola and Sprite. Everything is off-brand. Only thing you can buy off-brand is cereal because it tastes the same. But everything else is off-brand. And I think, what in the world is this? These are not Doritos. They what do you call the nacho tortilla chips? Like that's not no. Dorito, you can't beat Dorito. Dorito is just unbeatable. Like you just can't. That's why don't nobody have a legitimate tortilla chip that they compete with when it comes to Dorito, because it's that's what you do. That's what you get. You want a nacho flavored Dorito tortilla chip, you get Dorito. You just know that's what you do. You might can fool a person. No Wickman's. I haven't heard that one. Not to say it's not here. I just never heard of it. What I think we have, or what I've seen, I'll say it that way, is Shop and Save, Giant Eagle, Aldi's, of course, Walmart and Target, and a place called Community Store or Community Supermarket, something like that. Is that where it's okay? So it's not off-brand. It's just not recognizable to me. Got it. So I just can't. Nothing tastes like I want it to. So I don't go in there either. Now, produce and meat is a lot better at Aldi's than it is in the Shop and Save. But Giant Eagle's got everybody beat. Because they have a cheese bar, they got wine selections, they got everything. a full-fledged bakery, full-fledged seafood department, which I avoid. I can't stand the smell of fish. But anywho, been walking for what, 3 hours now? Yes. Okay. Now that is true, GM Dave. The some of the best chips are from Mexican restaurants because they make them themselves. But they don't have pre-processed cheese and MSG like the It's just a little different when you get that good old chemical taste in there. You can't really beat Doritos. So I gotta go find something to eat. Other than hopes and dreams and fingernails, so what do I eat? What's by here? Nothing. I don't know. My legs are tired now. I'm hungry now too. So let's see. What I'm gonna eat? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. So what is today? Today is Wednesday. Okay. So if we don't go walking tomorrow, then I will see y'all Friday for our little give the gab session. I don't know what I mean. I almost walked down the other street just now. But anyway. See, even almonds sound good. I think I'm just hungry. Everything sounds good. About to eat some of this grass in a minute. So, I'll see y'all Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To be me, Adrian, and Shining Hawk Healing, doing our energy reads from our cards and not CNN. And we'll see what happens. So y'all have a good day.